What an absolute beast of a map one we've had here, and the coaches of G2 and CLG certainly got a lot to say, I'm sure, after that one. It was by no means the convincing win that we expected out of G2, and well, CLG really turned up there in those later stages. Some amazing rounds of Counter-Strike, and good for us, it's the best of 3, so there's another map to come at least.
At least one more map, yeah, and it's going to be Cash for the second one. I mean, I was very impressed. I think G2 probably underperformed a little bit to the expectancy that we had for them. I think Hayes and Cutler, and maybe especially Cutler, played out of his mind on that terrorist side. So many opening games, so many opening kills, and really good defense as well on the CT side. So yeah, those were the 2 players for me that really stood out. But it seems to me like on Cash, they're going to have to do even better.
Exactly, that's the fear that we'd had here. Of course, Mirage was CLG's choice. Moving into Cash, where their form's not the best, and after such a close defeat there in map number 1, there's always that risk that it kind of just topples from this point onwards.
That can definitely happen, especially when you go into into overtime, because you end up expending so much energy trying to see if you can do it, and they did do pretty well in the first half of overtime and just couldn't bring it back home. So it really does make a big difference, and I'm wondering if they've got more stamina left here, CLG, or if they are going to slowly run out. Hopefully not. And G2 weren't exactly looking too confident either. I mean, they did win, both the pistol rounds. So if not for that, if they lose just one pistol round, they probably lose that map.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing there, considering how close it was that they did win both pistols and they did convert both as well.
Yeah.
So a little bit closer than they would have been hoping for. So CLG might be able to keep a hold of this one. There's certainly a lot of work to do. The sunglasses are back on there for Tariq, who, as we mentioned earlier, is suffering with an eye infection here today, which is less than ideal. And I think we can safely say we saw glimmers of that in his performance as well. As you mentioned, we always talk about Tariq, about JDM as the 2 men to really bolster this CLG team with a lot of frags. It was Cutler and even Hayes, honestly, that really stepped up there in map number 1. So a lot of work to do. Moving on to Cash, definitely the favorable map here for G2 Esports. So a lot to be done. A lot's got to go right early, I think, for CLG this game.
Yeah, and this is one of those maps where I think the individual strength of G2 is going to be really noticeable. They'll be able to force a lot of fights, even if CLG will want to play that tactical style. You're so close to each other at all times. Someone gets pop flashed through a smoke, someone just decides to walk out and take a bit of a strange angle or an early peek or anything like that. You've got to fight them, and on paper at least, pretty much if you match 1-to-1 any member of G2 to any member of CLG, they should come out on top. So, they've got to rely on that extra level of tactics. They've got to rely on a little bit more. And they were able to do it on the terrorist side of Mirage. We saw that, some really good fakes coming out of CLG. And it was wonderful. But I think on Cash, it's going to be more tricky, more difficult.
Absolutely. And see if CLG can use that momentum. It's always a tricky thing. And I think something that, as a coach in particular, you've got to be able to deal with this kind of scenario. Like, yes, we just got really close to them in map number 1. We lost out in overtime. It's a heartbreaking result, but if you want to turn around best of 3s, you've got to keep focus here. You've got to keep your mind in it.
I mean, in that sense, CLG do have a lot of practice in getting really close and not making it. Seems to be their MO almost. I mean, they're hardened at this point, surely. Pretty almost more than any other team at a top level here. They have this MO of just getting very close to doing it, and then something just doesn't quite work. I'm trying to think of what specific rounds. I think Tariq had like that 1v1 in the bomb site versus Jacob, I think it was, where he sort of ended up stepping out of the balcony and it was just at a completely wrong angle. Those kind of rounds, they make a big difference.
Yeah, it was a very strange round as well, that one. As we said, he literally ran right beneath him and obviously had not heard it properly or couldn't quite figure out where he was, and basically that was the game right there for them in overtime. So definitely a tough one, but as you mentioned, that wasn't smooth running here for G2. But they might also say, that was CLG's map. They've won previous to starting this one, 9 out of their last 11 games on LAN on Mirage. So CLG definitely not a bad team on that map. And maybe that's what G2 have in mind. You know, once we move over to Cash, this should be more business as usual for us. See there, seems like Tarek's got a couple of little sound issues, so hopefully that should be getting fixed here shortly. We can get things underway. It kind of makes sense if Tarek did have a couple of sound issues, judging by that round that we were talking about just now.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, definitely, from our point of view, we can hear it. It's always different, and we don't know what teammates might have been screaming in his ears or whatever. It's very hard to know. So, you did bring up a point during the game, though, about AZ and him being just a little bit less, you know, visible than we're used to. It could just be that he's now set up against some pretty epic players in that sense. But I mean, I still think there's some truth to that, and I wonder if we're going to be able to see more of AZ here on Cash. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if I could find the actual tallies for AZ in that one, but can't quite dig them out at this point. But it was quieter than I think we were expecting. We were looking for, you know, the beastly, godlike AZ that we've seen, and that, you know, has almost become expected of a player like him, especially now moving into a heavy-hitting lineup like G2's. But he was quiet. There were other people picking up the weight there. I think Jacob in particular had a really, really good game there, including that first pistol round, of course, where he got himself a hat-trick to really get that game going. Michael Lely, again, quiet for quite a large proportion of that game, but also had some of his trademark clutch rounds in there as well. So I think there are definitely people that you may normally look at and say they'd normally be doing better than they are, but on the flip side of that, there are people like Cutler and Hayes who stepped up there in map number 1. But we are going to get things underway here on Cash and see who can pick up the 9th round. Of course, it was G2 who won it on Mirage to get their choice of sides. See if they can do it again.
Good, and once again for CLG, it's important that they get the best start possible here. It most certainly is. And the 9th round gets to sign that. It is like a bit of a Counter-Strike gimmick, really, because we could just be doing coin tosses or something else, but, you know, 9th rounds seem more appropriate, and G2, this time, no doubt about it, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's another discussion, right? Like, is it worth the 9th round, or just flip a coin, or have some kind of flip system in-game, whatever you want to do? But I think at least with the 9th round, there is the opportunity for a little bit of strategy in there as well, which can certainly make things interesting. I've
been a long-time advocate of having taser rounds where you just put SV infinite ammo to 1, and so you can never run out and just tase forever.
Yeah,
that would be worth it.
I feel like that's a thing that should definitely happen. You know, even if it's just for testing for one event, we should just figure out if we should do that one. It could be fun to watch them tasing around, but it looks like we are going to kick things off here. G2, of course, winning the 9th for a second map in a row and starting out on the CT side. So let's see if CLG can get off to a better start, losing both pistols in map number 1 as we move here to the kickoff on Cash, which could be the decider, and will be, of course, if G2 are able to win it.
This is a slightly better map for playing with the Glock than Mirage was, because you get close here in on the USP, which means from G2's point of view, they've got to hit those really good one-tap headshots. If they miss like 3 bullets here, then they're going to be too close for the Glocks, and the Glocks are going to be terrifying here. Jacob, he goes down again, close range. Rain in the back lines, gets the one headshot with Hayes, drops him. Great double kill and a triple. He picks up the USP and shots down Fox. What a fantastic start here for the American team, and now it's going to be AC and Mike Hillel left 2 versus 4. That's a great way to shut down an early round.
Well, we were talking about Hayes just there in the break, and he's starting as he means to go on here. And there is another kill coming in. It's only Michael Lely who's found 1 frag, but he's got a lot of work to do. Does have a def kit, which should work in his favor, but up close there against Tarek and the Glock, he will be killed off quickly. And that will be pistol round then, going over to CLG. So that's what we talked about, a good start, something that's needed. Get that momentum back up, get yourselves in a good place mentally after losing out in such a close game in map number 1.
And there was something about the timing that went wrong in that A-bomb side as well, because I don't think that Rain was supposed to be taking their attention in the back lines, and instead the guy who's playing in MBK corner got killed first. So there was some sort of mistiming there for G2 that they were looking for. But CLG, now they've got to survive, and Mike Hillel does have a scout. And I think, is he jumping in the back lines of B? I think he is. Something that MBK, now that we talk about the MBK corner, which is really close to here, MBK had some really sick games online where he dropped a lot of people to jump scout.
See See what they can do here. Push comes through, and they've taken down Hayes. There's the spray from on top, but somehow AZ will take out Tariq, and that's 2 weapons that could be going their way. Michael Ellie does pick off JDM. Oh, AZ with just 1 HP there. Let's see what they can do with it. I thought AZ had actually gone down for a second, but they did survive just about. And, well, they lost the 1 man, but overall, it's a fantastic round from G2. I mean, the instant bounce back. You see here, Hayes getting pushed down instantly. Then Tariq with a wild spray, not managing to get the kills. And just like that, CLG's hopes of starting off well are put down. Somehow, I always feel like that kind of thing is a lot more devastating than just flat out losing the pistol in some ways.
It really does feel that way, I think. And you know, for lack of a better term, CLG just going 100% CLG here. This is what they're so well known for doing. Just getting those good positions and then somehow throwing them away anyway. Definitely a bit uncomfortable here, but a nice shot on Fox at the least. And they've got a little bit of a pistol to work with here in Cutler and that Deagle. No armor though, so just hoping for some early shots.
Yeah, basically you've got 1, maybe 2 shots to get off there before you're picked off as Rain. We'll take out Finesse. Hazel's going to go down as well. And 1 by 1 here, CLG being weeded out of their positions and taken down. Cutler trying his best, and well, we'll land one onto AZ, so that is at least 1 back. And you can see that Rain pushing away from that position, but they've not heard Jacob coming all the way around the back, and he will manage to get 2 to finish off the round, combining there with Michael Ailey, and that is 2-1 in favor of G2. Obviously a fairly easy round for them there. But CLG will once again be pretty much saving up. Just a couple of Tech 9s, I think, added into the roster for this round.
It's a bit of a shame that they couldn't get a couple more kills on CLG because they did have the opportunity. They did do the early damage, but obviously just Cutler with the Deagle headshot here. This round, though, they've gone for a lot of smokes and some flashbangs, too. It looks like they want to just try and get the bomb down. I think that's the goal for this round. Maybe not win it, but just the bomb plant to get that bonus money.
And a slower start to this one. A couple of smokes, 3 of them, in fact, going over. So full setup here onto this A-bomb site. Tariq already going to move through here and actually gets in behind one of them. That's going to mean an AK for him. The rest of G2 here on that site, though. Michael Ellick with the scout in hand. With Tariq coming in, they did manage to get the finisher. So a 2 versus 3. Tariq just about surviving there. But the bomb yet to be planted still. And that could be the difficult thing for them. Of course, they used all their smokes early on, which means they're going to have to cross these open areas. A good grenade comes in onto Tariq as well. And now it's just on Cutler, who did land the shot with the scout, but the damage not there. It was a close round and a bit of a sigh of relief, I think, for G2 that round. Closer than they would have hoped for. But nonetheless, they go 3-1 up, and now we're going to see CLG finally buying up. See what they can do.
And somewhat tragically, because of the early success in that round, they sort of diverted from their original goal, which was just getting the bomb down, which they could have got in that 2 versus 3. So some mistakes there. I'm not sure why Finesse wanted to jump up and try and take that fight once again. Once he's already been shut down, he can just play as like just sort of grabbing the attention away from everyone else. Basically, he just has to stay alive, and it's good. Tariq with an opening round or an opening shot here to drop down Michael Ellie, and that's a good start for CLG. They can just bring it back here to 3 versus 3. That would be very, very good if they can bring it back to tied scoreline.
Oh, we may see a bit of action here. Fox and JDM looking at the same positions. We'll see if anyone pushes out from that. AZ actually just headed through the smoke there. Just check A main. Nobody there, at least at that point. The bomb is still sat outside. There is JDM to get Fox, who had started to crawl his way through. So he gets a bit of information from that one. What do they do from here? Flames into vent. There is Rain to find one. And I think best move that he could have made there as well. Just backing away, saying 1's enough. Better to stay safe there. So it is, of course, a 4-on-3 still in favor of CLG. There's Jacob playing inside of Checkers, gets 1. Can he find 2? He can. He takes down Tariq. Now Finesse going to come in for the challenge, and Finesse this time does get the better of him, but bombs down, and look at the timer. Only 20 seconds. JDM versus 2. He's got one man at headshot who's keeping his head out the way. Oh, he actually connected onto him there. Rain down to just 15, but he whips out the USP, finishes it off, and that is another round back to G2. So a close one from CLG, but G2 holding on.
And we had this very discussion on Mirage. When you get those opening frags, when you're playing that 5 versus 3, you've got such a huge advantage in numbers that if you go quick into a bomb site, just find it, take a little bit of time and try and set up some fakes and maybe try and, you know, fake some aggression somewhere on the map. But once you go, you kind of have to go, and instead they let Rain get the early kill, let Jacob get a good kill in there, and they're too slow once they have the advantage. And it backfires really badly on them. That's going to be now a rain of smokes going in towards this B-bomb site, or A-bomb site, sorry, trying to see if they can make it through. They've got no armor, and those grenades and the counter Molotovs are coming out, and they're doing a lot of damage. CLG shouldn't be able to get the bomb down here. Good kill coming in from AC, and that starts it off. And, well, G2 is shutting them down.
Yeah, I mean, only pistols, you know, a normal round AZ would have never survived that long. Here comes Finesse through the smoke and up close and personal, but that was a solid round from G2, considering what a tight spot AZ was in there. He flashed up for what seemed like forever, and then still managed here to finish off in second and third in order to win that round, and G2 didn't lose a single man. So 5-1 up, CLG back with weaponry to work with. Will, of course, be an AWP for JDM, who's up until now, you know, had a couple of kills. I wouldn't call them, you know, your traditional openings. Of course, Fox had pushed around from exactly this position before, which is what got him caught out. And now Finesse is there, and Fox will land a brilliant shot to open up the frags for G2.
And I love it. And Finesse position in this case is also a big giveaway. G2 will read that very well. They probably know the rest of the team is setting up on the other side of the map, because it's default to have someone playing out like that. So I absolutely love that kind of play. Versus Pro used to do a lot with Snacks pushing up like that, or even sometimes Snacks and somebody else too. Rain gonna get caught in the middle though, and that might have been an unnecessary overextension there from G2's point of view. They already had the advantage, and now they've actually sort of leveled the playing field again, and it looks like a B push coming in here. And AC, he's gonna go and check for just that. He wants to know.
I was gonna say, that's a ballsy move there. JDM will actually get the kill onto him as well, so they are going to be pushing towards A. That's going to be big flashbangs coming in. It will slow them right down. Michael Early going to go through the smoke like some kind of crazed ninja. Does get taken out straight away though, and it's now 2 versus 3. Oh, Fox clipped the forklift there. That's reduced the damage, but he'll finish off with the P250. Can't get Tariq, and it's now all on Jacob. 1 from main, 1 on the bomb. Tariq down to about half HP. They'll nade over the top, but Jacob is still pretty healthy. He'll fake there, and JDM peeks around from main to record CLG's second round here on map 2.
Very important, a much needed round. That kind of puts a bit of a hold to G2 there, and a nice push into the bomb side after getting the early trades. And, you know, they slowed it down after they lost, I think Hayes did what? No, Finesse over at the B bomb site. So pretty good job that they kept their cool. And they got to keep playing like this. 5-2. This is a CT-sided map, so overall, we can forgive CLG for being a little bit behind here.
Yeah, decent ratios overall, I'd say. 5-2. Fox is once again going to be looking for that info. Sees that no one's pushed all that far out. And it's again another slow start to things from CLG. Michael Early just firing off a couple of shots off towards the door. No real opportunity for a frag yet at this point. We're not going to see a couple of smokes coming off, and that will land right on the head of Rain. It will instantly take the position there on the railing. Just to have a look over the top fringes of that towards the boost spot.
Oh.
JDM had just looked away or just dropped down from that position. So 45 seconds, CLG are going to have to hit the go button here. And this is the thing about this kind of scenario. Once you see those first smokes dropping in, you can 100% call it because of the timing. It's Hayes, though, that will get the opener frag. This allows them now to stop pushing through main. Michael Early just going to fall back to his teammate there to try and hold this one off. It's a good flash that comes in. Tariq will take out Michael Early as well. AZ will peek out. Actually, Rain, sorry, was there in that scenario that does get the frag, but he's fairly low. Jacob is low. I'm not sure if they're going to go for this one in the end. It is still 4v3, so this next frag will surely be telltale. No, they've already called for the return off towards that B site. They'll just back away. So CLG are going to pick up a 5-3 scoreline. And looking, honestly, at this stage of things, damn healthy on this T side.
Yeah, it's been some very good rounds. I mean, as long as you can get openings like the ones they've got here, Hayes this time, I think, the one to get the first frag. There's nothing, they just keep going like this, basically. And the fact that they're waiting around so long in the beginning, it's also maybe a bit of a sign that they have an idea about how G2 maybe like to play. They want to see if they can catch them out if they try for anything aggressive. Like they've been doing over at B a couple of times, but I mean, this map lends itself so well to aggression. You can do it in the middle. A lot of teams do. Pasho, if you ever see VP, is going to sneak through the middle. You can do counter boost up on that box. You can push into A main, push into Squeak Door. It's everywhere is open here for the CT side. So I wouldn't be surprised if G2 are going to try a little bit more of that. And look in the middle here, they don't know that angle. And AZ, he takes 1 second one of the FAMAS, and wow, what a shutdown here. G2 outright winning the round, and JDM the last man left.
Well, that escalated quickly. I mean, AZ there, that position that CLG just not checking. JDM did just spot AZ there. We'll actually get that return, so it's not an impossible scenario, but 4v1 is basically impossible. Oh, Michael Haley, I'm not sure how he didn't get that kill. JDM down to 42, and I think his grenade has just pinged off Rain there as well. So he's doing work here. The bomb's still down, though, over by the boost spot. He'll pick up Jacob, and they're coming at him here, 1-for-1, though, and that's exactly how you end up losing a round like this. Let's see, though. There is that bomb collected. What's he going to go for? He's got Rain on one side and Fox on the other side.
It's just...
And there is JDM's face, who has no idea where they are. Luckily for us, I mean, you can see the mini-map. Yeah, 20 seconds he's got here, so it's all about this next shot. It's all about taking the face off Rain. He's playing this one by the book, behind the box. He's got 10 seconds, and well, he checked left. Rain was sat right. Good little try there from JDM. You have to give him credit for that one. He was almost fed the kills, I'd say, as well, the way that they just marched on forward one by one, but nonetheless, G2 picking up an important round there. Looking a little bit rocky in that 1 versus 5 scenario.
I mean, almost all of those kind of big clutches you get when it's, you know, 1 versus 4 or 5 or something, it does involve the other team sort of lending you a bit of real estate and you making the most out of it. It's still very impressive here. Double smoke into the middle, so a bit of a set execute coming out of CLG, faking that they might be going through vents, but in fact they're going to go through A, and the main entrance here, Michael rocking them and shocking them down. It's going to be a 3rd kill coming in, looking for the quad shot. He's not going to hit it on Seal and Cutler there. There's still a 2 versus 2, and well, the bomb is not actually picked up on anyone. It's by the forklift, and that's unfortunate there. Jacob going to take down Cutler, and JDM, well, less people to kill this time, tries for the flick here. See if he can get this 1 versus 2 win. And he's got a lot of time once again here. And G2, they are actually moving up there right above him. Oh no, JDM, he's got no shot at knowing this. Picks up the bomb. It doesn't make a noise because he's walking. And Fox is going to be behind him. JDM takes 1 shot. Fox is right on top of him. How is this not working out? And JDM, he's going to go down again. It's so close for him, but he can't pull it through.
Scenarios like that, a little bit unlucky as well. See, no sound made by Fox, and this is Michael Haley's opening and really holding that bomb site there for G2. So 2 rounds in a row for them, and moving closer to a half-time at 7-3. We are going to see an eco here for CLG. Only a Tech 9, couple of P250s, 2 smokes and a flash to work with for CLG. They'll all be thrown out already, and they're going to be going straight towards this A site. And Michael Haley says, I want to bank a little bit of money for this one. He's going to be sat there with that MP7, and he's going to fill his boots as well, picking up kills left, right, and center. Finesse finally kills him off, but Finesse and Tarek, between them, have 5 health. Somehow, though, still managed to get 1. It's an almost needless death, really, you have to say, for G2. But Tarek, surely no way that he can pull this one off with such a little amount of health, and, well, a P90 coming your way. The chances of dodging all them bullets are pretty slim.
It's where you wish when they were originally just with the 2 very low players that one person would just have an HE grenade. That could have been beautiful, but doesn't quite work out that way. We're now an 8-3 scoreline here. I don't know. I think CLG, because they're not really champions of this map, I really want to see them end up at least 6 rounds. And that train is almost, well, the train's almost left the station here.
Yeah, I think so as well. Could maybe be proved wrong, though. seen crazier things in this game already, and there is Fox gonna peek out, and once again, I'll make Finesse pay the price. Fox doing not really anything flashy, to be honest, over towards that B site slow. You know, kind of inch for inch checking around each corner and getting one person. That's a nice little shot, spraying up towards Michael Ailey. And it leaves AZ now on quad to try and defend, and CLG, they've backed away, whether that means just you know, getting those smoke nades in position to go over the top. We'll find out here in a second. They'll boost first of all, see if they can find anyone in mid. It's gonna be flashes coming back, but there's two men in checkers, which is possibly gonna be a real thorn in their side if they decide to go through middle and up that way. And well, looks like this could be an interesting one. Hayes is gonna smoke that over the top. That will land straight on top of the balcony. There's going to be nades coming in. Tariq, though, is forcing his way through the back, sprays down one. Almost got the shot onto Rain there as well, but this is the opening that they needed here, CLG. But Rain is defending well. Only got one, though, and it's now all on Jacob. 1v3. Has been beastly this game already. But 1v3 is a tough ask for him. CLG, wow, defending up close there, and, well, see a little bit of frustration, and CLG moving towards that 6 you were talking about.
Yeah, definitely a very strong round for them here. And I mean, the fact that, like, when Tariq comes up the highway like that, he gets the first kill, and you can tell he's showing a little bit frustrated. He couldn't spray down the second player there, but just the fact that he sees Rain in the bomb site means you can tell his teammates are so careful going in there. I think that's what probably meant that Rain was only ever going to get one kill in there, because they knew that he was behind those boxes, and yeah, kind of just limiting his impact on the round. I would think we're paused here to get Jacob back in the game, but should be just a couple, or Rain, I can't remember. One of them DC'd for a second.
Yeah. So CLG, you know, staying calm. We're still early stages of this one, but you said 6 rounds from this T side would probably be a good position for them to be in at this point, considering that they're not on their strongest map by any means. But we shall see. They're certainly not far off that total, and this is, of course, a round full of deagles and what have you for G2. So, I mean, you never want to count those rounds out, because,
right,
well,
I'm not trying to jinx anything here, but this would be a classic CLG round to lose. That's all I'm saying, Joe. I don't want to rub it in or anything. They are going to throw a Molotov into the vents here, just to try and force anyone out who's playing it. And once they do that, seems like they're going to recommit to the A aggression. This has been working out really well for them, so maybe a bit too obvious here for G2, because look at the rotation that's coming in towards this A bomb site. They're gearing up for it. AZ, he's going to go down, but Rain is there with the C set, going to take down one. Jacob with a shot. Tariq has gone down. That's the 5-7 in play, and that's going to bring it back into 3 versus 3 as they now make a run back towards that B bomb site. Great read from G2 in this round.
Let's see if they can read this B push then. Jacob's got that AK to work with, which he can certainly do the damage with, just making sure that no one pops out from the boost to really throw him off. But the bomb's already worked its way around, so Hayes will be able to get the plant here. They've got no one. Oh, there is one person, I think, just watching the drop down from Vent. He'll have heard those footsteps coming in. There's a push around. Jacob gets one. Finesse did take down one. Jacob's second. There's a man on the side, and Jacob will get the kill. 3 kills with the AK. And, well, Anders, you jinxed it anyway, and CLG end up losing it.
I did call it a classic, and I mean, there's a reason why we call it that, right? It just happens a little bit too often. What's really incredible here is that they actually made the call in that 3v3 to rotate back to the B bomb site, which is a very good call at that point in time. That's when they should have won the round, and somehow they end up being completely unable to defend. I don't know, that was a very sloppy play from CLG, and it might have cost them a lot here. 9-6 is still possible, and I think it's a requirement right now. They need that.
It's just been a lot of really trying hard, slow pushes on towards this A side. There is a bit of a peek over the top from Michael Ailey, and he, well, almost unchallenged. In fact, he didn't lose a single point of health there. Will finally get picked off by Cutler as he moved back out of A main towards the forklift. And that leaves us then with 4 men left on each team. AZ will be watching from quad and will throw down the flames as soon as you know they're pushing in. He's also got the backup of Rain, who will take the head off Tariq instantly, and now those nades are going to start raining in towards main. It's Cutler, though, and Finesse combined there. They've got rid of Rain, but here is still AZ, a new man on this G2 team who's honestly been fairly quiet in this best of 3 so far. Jacob, on the other hand, who's been anything but quiet, will be joining in from the side and surely will finish off Cutler. He will. Maybe combining there. A little bit out of sync, but get the job done nonetheless. And that will put them into double figures here as we move into that last round of the first half. So 16 possible. A 10-5 would, you know, I think also be fairly unlikely at this point, just looking at the money that CLG have to spend into this round.
And if you notice, a lot of individual duels going into that round, and as we started off by trying to say that G2 probably comes out on almost ahead in almost every one of those duels, so it's a bit risky. Up here for Fox, not going to connect with the shot. They're going to go quick and fast here. They line up for Jacob, and he gets 2 kills out of it with that AK. A dangerous tactic here for CLG. And AC now going to come barreling out of the vents into Checkered, looking for the shot here. Cutler actually going to take him down, and that's going to leave them a man up here on the CLG side. Tariq taking down Mike Kilelli. 10-5, it's going to be possible, and Tariq will drop it. Double kill at the end, and double kill for Cutler. Bit of an unlikely round, especially like it looked like they were just all lining up to get killed.
Yeah, I mean, I unjinxed it there for us a little bit there for CLG.
Good job.
Yeah, starting off with those Tech 9s, and as you said, 3 of them lined up against the wall, completely blind, but Jacob only managed to get 2. So nice little ending there to this first half for CLG. 10-5 behind, and you know, that's not massive numbers here to be beating, I feel, on Cash.
It's definitely possible. We've seen, I mean, we actually have seen some crazy comebacks on Cash in the past. The pistol round is going to be so critical, though. If they win the pistol and win the following rounds, then, you know, they're probably going to bring it back to 10-8.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's definitely within the realms of reason that they could do it, but I've got a feeling G2 are going to be pretty hard to beat on this terrorist side here.
Well, let's find out. Tariq has kicked us off. And Cutler, oh, what a shot. Little one pop there onto the head of Jacob. They are starting to get up close now, though. And as we saw in that first pistol round, that's where those Glocks are going to cause you some real problems. Tariq has come around the back. He's got Rain down to just 40 HP, and they shoot him in the back there. That was finesse really coming out nicely. And, well, the pistol on the board for CLG. Now they don't need to do what they did in the first half, which is lose the second round.
Yeah, because actually, unlike Mirage, where they did lose both the pistols outright, this time they actually won both the pistol rounds, except it kind of went bad early on in the first half here. If they can just hold on to it, it would be a very, very good sign. And G2 replying with 4 Tech 9s, 1 Deagle, and a lot of armor.
Well, they've done a lot of damage there. They do push back on with the FAMAS, though, to take down Rain for the first frag. AZ, Jacob, both out onto the A-bomb site. So I think actually looking at the minimap, they're going to get the bomb down here. So money nonetheless for G2. CLG playing this one by the book. That's a strong grenade from JDM. Bring one man down to just 2 HP. Actually, 6 HP, because that was Michael Ailey in there. Fox, though, does only have 2 health. There is JDM. Good little shot from AZ, though. He's got so many more to find if they want to win this round. There is Fox going to be picked up, and it's now all on Jacob. Tech 9 in hand. He's got men rushing towards him from every single side. There's the kill with it for Mass. They've not got a kit. What? Oh.
Oh, no. So just staying alive. They made themselves hard to find, and that was all it took. They got the kills, yeah, but nobody... It looked like that even surprised CLG, you can tell.
I mean, it surprised me. There's 4 of them rushing in there. You'd expect that, you know, one of them had had a kit. I didn't even check, you know. It's kind of obvious in that scenario, but... Well, that could be another one of those little mistakes that cost CLG.
We have a lot of rhymes to remind people to buy kits, and none of them we can say on the stream. But,
exactly.
We do have them.
And for good reason, I think, as we've has been demonstrated time and time again. Let's see for this one, though. JDM, oh, great shot there for the opener, but, well, it's just overpowered, really, in the end. We're going to have Cutler coming from the back, and that doesn't get him much either, and it's now all on Tariq. And they're the rounds, similar to that second round after pistol in the first half. They're the rounds that really break you, I think, as a team. I see Tariq just going to back away. Going to keep his head armor more than anything else really safe. Moving on to that next one. But this is another one on the board for G2 without a doubt. It's going to be a 12-6 lead for them. And now CLG, well, they can't afford to be dropping any more rounds.
No, I mean, what a setting way to start. I mean, I guess it's some sort of progress from Mirage, where they won none of the pistols. This time they won both the pistols, but then that's as far as they get. And it seems like the second rounds are just too much to handle, and I don't know. It's hard to imagine how they get back in this game now. The money for G2 is going to be great, and CLG, they're going to have one more eco round here before they could finally make some sort of buy happen. And by then, they have no more buffer left. They've got to play pretty much a perfect second half here once we get into the 20th round.
Well, they're going to start off by stacking up for this one. Flash is coming over. They've got themselves an AK, or there's an AK on the floor at least. Whether they can actually pick it up remains to be seen. And, well, after all that happens, after all that goes down, just JDM and Tariq. Tariq with the M4 there. Let's see. Bomb is going to be planted in the B site. So the two of them going to have to push around the back. And do they risk now this M4 for this round? Or what do they do with it? There is JDM. He will be picked off eventually by Michael Illy. And, well, the M4 kind of just goes to waste there at the end. It wasn't really saved, and they didn't make much of a push to try and get through.
I wonder where Fox took that shot from. I mean, he was in the middle, but I'm wondering if it was through a wall or anything. Ah, that looked a bit strange. 13-6, and nothing is saved for CLG. They're going to make a full buy here, including JDM with the AWP and Mike Kelele on the other side. And he got the close spawn to B. He's going to go straight for it. He spots a guy in Checkard, and JDM, oh, he's trapped in a very bad corner. Look at all the people waiting for him. He goes down to a grenade. Haste, shot to the face by Jacob, and this is an awful start to the round. CLG, I mean, they should save these rifles here. I don't think they need to fight this.
Yeah, absolute worst scenario you can be in, really, when you, with that AWP, you're rushing towards Checkard and then you see that they're all rushing you. Then you've really got some problems. Goes down almost instantly. You can see that Finesse and Cutler going to try to hold on to the rifles for this for the end of this round. Take something through into that next one, because this one went pear-shaped for them very, very quickly.
I mean, the problem is, Haste is kind of close by, so you could... If it was any other map, maybe you could try and use Cutler as like, JDM as bait.
And bait, yeah.
But back there, they have all the grenades. They'll explode him if he tries to stay in Checkered. That's not even an option, so he has to go and fight. And, well, we saw the result there. 14-6, and right now this map is looking sort of almost like the opposite of Mirage, it seems.
Yeah, unfortunately for us, and, you know, we kind of thought that might be a thing, losing out so close in map number one. Often, you know, completely drains teams, especially when they're their underdogs, and, you know, they get fired up so much for that first one that afterwards they can't compete, and especially going into then the opposition's map as well, which you're yourselves maybe not brilliant on. Either way, this round did start off with a bit of damage onto Rain, so as you can say, early round, a little bit of a victory for CLG, but they're also running 2 FAMASas and a 5-7 this round, as Jacob is going to take down Cutler. Here comes the second one as well. It's Fox this time that gets that finesse here from Truck. Actually doing a great job, a fantastic job. Will take down Fox. So it turns just like that into advantage G2 over to CLG, having the man advantage. Bomb is down and ticking now, and I'm happy to tell you all, CLG do possess a kit this time. Question is, will they even get close to the bomb? There's up close and personal. Michael Elliott through the smoke, almost landing that shot as well. And now Tariq, full HP, but all the work to do. Gets himself the 1 kill. He's going to go aggressive. Oh, and Michael Elliott just taps himself up and down, crouching in his face, and gets the kill. Probably should have been a scenario that Tariq won, to be honest, with that AWP and just a pistol up close, but it is what it is, and it's game point here for G2.
Wow, I mean, they were the last minute invite, obviously. That's a nice position, Michael. Is that really going to be able to work out? Okay, can actually see over the fence. That's very cool. I love that. Well, Fox in the middle gets the jump on Cutler. JDM going to go down as well. Right now it's a 2-for-2 trade, and Flashbang goes out. Hayes hiding by the sandbags. He's going to get the spray down on AC. That's going to get CLG a little bit of an advantage here. A lot of long-range spray for the smoke, and Rain actually doing significant damage with it. Mike Hilele, what are they just doing in this smoke? They've got to get out in here. Mike Hilele ends up going down, and Rain to drop as well. I mean, that was just, that became just a little bit too intimate in the smoke there.
It was a bit of a weird round as well. I mean, we saw Cutler going up was kind of the bait really for Hayes to get himself those 2 kills, and I think G2 just said, okay, we're just piling straight through middle here to see if we can get some frags. Try and rely on that aim to win this game, to finish it off. They've got, of course, so many rounds to work with. As we see Tarek will drop straight down towards Checker, and actually going to play this one again on the edge of the smoke. Cutler, meanwhile, takes out Michael Ailey. So there's a good little kickoff to the round for CLG, but they've not expected rain. Just up on the side to bring us back to 4v4. Cutler going to flash. The smoke comes down as well so that he can get a bit of a rescue attempt off from Checkered. JDM spots an elbow but can't connect, as is the case for Fox. Finally, we do see the smokes coming in, so G2, will they try and push through these? It would be incredibly dangerous for them. There are 2 men behind the smoke. They've still got 55 seconds to work with, and there is a push through from Cutler. And I think a flash, I heard a flash go off. I think there was a flash that was supposed to actually flash him out there, but Rain not getting affected by it whatsoever. JDM missing the shot as well. It means they're up close, and Rain will get the better of him. This is going to be it. It's only finesse, 1 versus 4 to save the game for CLG. I said that as well in map number 1, but this one's a lot more of an impossible one. It will be easy there inside events, and it's going to be G2 that win it here, 2-0, and move on to tomorrow's semi-final. Map 2, definitely a normal day at the office, I think we could say. Gone as everyone's probably expected. Map 1, an absolute monster of a game, though, of course, with that overtime, a 19-17 win after overtime for G2. So CLG, you know, as you said, coming in here with a string of bad results behind them, in as a last-minute replacement as well. They pushed G2 in that first map. Weren't really contenders, sadly, for them in map number 2, but I think still taking some positives from how they started off this game.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to wonder at this point as well, what happens if they win a pistol round and the following rounds? Just at any point in any of these games here, what would have been the outcome? Obviously, on Mirage, they probably win the map. Then we at least get C-Dust 2 as well. I mean, like, this has been the story for all of CLG's career. They're so close, they can just get a little bit more in there and it's going to happen, but it never does. And I know Moses is ready to talk about that stuff as well.
He's ready to unleash about that stuff, I'm pretty sure. And I think that's a really hard thing to fix as well, right? Like, what do you say to yourselves? Okay, guys, we need to stop losing the second rounds after we lose pistol. At this point, it almost feels like it's some kind of mental block that when they win pistol, round 2, they're kind of like cowering at their keyboards because they're worried about losing it.
I think it really is. I mean, look at another team that had a huge mental barrier to break down, which is the then Dignitas team, now TSM team. How they keep losing, you know, semifinals after semifinals. They just could. I think once CLG lose a couple of members in these rounds, they know, oh, we're back to that style again. We're going to be losing it, and then they lose it. So
feeling creeps in a little bit too quickly for them, maybe.
Probably.
Either way, we are going to head down onto the stage where OJ is ready for a chat with G2.
Thank you very much, Joe Miller. And that was a slow start from you in the first map.
Yeah.
Easy. Man of few words. Man of few words. Talk me through the new lineup, because if it was a slow start, when you clicked an AZ, you started to look deadly.
Yeah, I mean, we know what we were capable of, and as you said, it was a slow start for us, but then everything just clicked, and we just took every round, and we just smashed them.
You did indeed smash them. When you look at your team and you know that you're slow starters, does that worry you as a team, or are you happy, you know, a very laissez-faire, European way, we'll roll in, we'll get started, and we know when we hit our full power, we are deadly?
We know that we're going to be a slow starting team, and we've always been like that, even since the beginning of the team. But we know that we are capable of coming back pretty intense games, you know, like the first game was, the overtime. And I think we're really comfortable playing with each other. So.
Well, you do seem like you're really clicking. Let's look forward to tomorrow in the semi-finals. You'll be playing the winner of Cloud9 and TSM. 2 questions. First off, who do you want to play tomorrow?
I want to play against Cloud9, just because the home crowd is on their side. But TSM, it's our kryptonite. I mean, we never won against TSM, so it would be nice to win against TSM on the US soil, you know?
Who do you think is going to win that matchup then? They're going to be on stage in the next 10, 15 minutes time. Who do you think is going to win out of TSM and Cloud9? And remember, there's a lot of blue shirts in this audience here.
I don't want to get my face punched, so I will say Cloud9.
There we go. He knows how to play the crowd. Put your hands together for your winner, G2. And with that, we shall hand back over to the analyst desk and my man, Alex, the washing machine Richardson.
What?
Thank you, OJ. It's nice that you know what a washing machine is despite you never washing your clothes, you smelly, smelly man. Now, though, we have to talk a little bit about this game in hand. It's going to be a real interesting one to talk about because we had so much hope, so much faith after Mirage. We started to see some positivity coming out from CLG. It didn't end that way over on Cash. And I think, should we start with the pistol round discussion? Because they started it over there, and I think there's more to be said about that second round kind of tremor.
I mean, Cash was pretty much, I think Anders summed it up that during the cast, he just looking at how this round is playing out, he's like, this is just the typical CLG round to lose. Yeah. This is the kind of rounds they like to lose, and then they do it. And then they just see you like, here you go, Anders, you're going to look like a genius right now.
Yeah.
It was just crushing for them.
I made the critical error.
Yeah, we're sitting in the back, and Semler just goes, there's 0% chance that CLG loses this round.
You never say that.
And I'm just like, don't you do that. I did it once. It'll backfire, and now it's unfortunate.
So, Semler,
Come on, 5 on 3. How do you lose that?
Like, okay, so actually, you know what? I'm gonna direct this at the most recent player.
Okay.
Matthew, what from your experience, second round, it's becoming more prominent in CS:GO that you can, there's a threat from your opponent in the second round off the win of the pistol. But I mean, how can a team so consistently have trouble picking up that second round? What do you need to be doing in that round?
I think there is a very big psychological factor. When you are conscious, when you know that you have trouble against such rounds, then you would start to maybe overplay. You would start to peek when you don't have to. One of the advice I could give is that to see this round as a typical, classical, equipped round,
Right.
You just have to think that there is a lot of firepower back. They're going to have stuff. They're going to have smoke, flash and stuff. So just go as you would do if they have M4 or something like this, Just imagine there is a makeup round.
So you have to respect that second round buy, is essentially what you're saying.
Well, yeah, and we were watching that. We even commented that second round when they were CTs, the big heartbreak one is when they bought 4 rifles. And when you buy rifles in the second round, you don't have a lot of money to work with, so you're going to be missing out on your nades. You're going to be missing out on your defuse kits.
Oh,
you're going to be missing out on those.
Still fresh.
I mean, that's why you see, usually there's 2 to 3 SMGs on no matter, even going up against armor. These SMGs are strong enough. You think of the UMP that has that armor pen. Yeah. These SMGs are strong enough to handle that, and when you're not buying it, you're missing out on other facets of the game, and that's what really punished them.
Indeed, it did, and we can kind of turn our attention to G2 now and just kind of highlight what we learned from that one. I mean, I feel like we are kind of in a bit of a bully circle. We're like just pushing them back.
I've got at least 3 more points to make about CLG.
Okay, well, I'll let you run away with that, dude.
No,
we've got some evidence here of kind of how things.
Let's end the pain.
Yeah, you want to do that? I'll let you fire a final shot. Fire that final shot at CLG.
Final shot. They still try to play too aggressive on CT side. I think there's a lot of
in that last round. Was it Katarek
where
and Cutler?
They just and I think this is again due to a mental game that Maniac has mentioned. It's just that they start feeling the pressure and they start thinking they need to make something happen instead of in the beginning of Mirage, right, where they're just locking it down, playing steady, solid, back on the site. Just play a calm game. It feels like once the pressure starts kicking in for CLG, they really start to feel like they have to make something happen, and that's when they get slapped.
Matthew?
Yeah, and also I want to point out that they had 10-5 first side for G2. So you might think 5 rounds as T is decent, and I think it is. But if you look at how it was, we all discussed it was a difficult 10-5. And what might come down to the fact that they never really tried to control the middle. They had those fancy execute on A, and sometimes they would go for the peak on B and stuff. But I never really saw them taking control of the round, taking the middle, and then faking maybe or taking information like this. They didn't really do that.
It's often said that mid control is so crucial on Cash.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. For both sides of the map as well. It allows you, and that's the other thing. It's not just what you gain from having mid control as terrorists. It's what you deny the counter terrorists. There's if you have control as counter terrorists, quick rotates to either bomb site, quick flanks to either bomb site. You could do reverse boost. Yeah. So you're denying the counter terrorists so many options while you're gaining so many yourself. And if you're not going to do it, if you're going to be too afraid to take it, it's just going to be a really hard terrorist half on Cash.
Is there not something for a T side where they can kind of? I mean, I think more on the CT side. Is there not some sort of kind of mindset behind let them have middle and they have to come to us? There must be some degree where that can work.
Well, actually, the problem is if you let that middle go, then you have to be sure that your gamble behind it is correct.
Yeah.
You have to be sure that, okay, you're going to be 3-man on A because they're going to come on A, or maybe you're going to take the information on B with a push or something. But if you give up the middle as CT, you have to have a backup plan.
Right.
You cannot just give it away and be like, yeah, no problem, we're going to play this round. You have to have a background.
Also, you have to be able to establish that you can have mid control. Because then, you know, it puts a little bit of fear, it puts a little bit of thought in your opponent. They could be here. It slows things down. I mean, you look at, I mean, if they're aware that you could be taking that you like doing it, that you've had success, they have to devote, you know, a Molotov to the boost. They have to devote a smoke towards mid. If you're not ever trying to take it, just so much more utility they can hang on to.
Yeah, so let's move into G2 then. We have kind of knocked CLG down a peg or two already. Close start for the Mirage and kind of fell off in cash. For G2 though, the main point coming into this one was of course AZ. We wanted to talk about AZ's new addition. Was this kind of, for him, the big event, first debut under the G2 kind of name? And so how do you think that kind of went for him? He was kind of middle of the pack fragging, but that probably doesn't tell the whole story.
Exactly, that's satisfactory as far as I'm concerned. When you're looking at these G2 matches, you have 4 guys sitting above 20 frags. It's not AZ having to, you know, like, okay, I'm going to go get 40 frags now, guys, because it's the only way that we're going to win this map. No, it's everybody's actually getting in on the action. So I think you see a much more comfortable AC. All of a sudden, he's not going to have that pressure on him. It's just like when Apex and Kenny went over to Envy. Sorry, Maniac. But
I was going to say, like,
just like that. You know, you get this weight off of your shoulders, right? Because Kenny's like, oh, okay, I don't have to drop 50 frags, or Apex is like, oh no, these guys are going to be right on my ass. That's a big difference, right, to the mental game. And so I think that AC, this is just the ground floor. We saw what he was capable of when he had to do a lot of work with Dignitas, but now he's got a very solid team to fall back on. And we saw a lot of situations on Cash, I think, where it's just like, why is he not dying? And then he gets 3 kills, and you're like, okay then, right? You know, what do you do if you're CLG and that guy's just going to wreck you single-handed?
That probably takes quite a lot of getting used to. Like, his playstyle must have to kind of dramatically change from what it was on Dignitas, where there's a lot of responsibility on himself, and I mean, at times Pimp, but
that's what I was very concerned about, but already in these 2 maps, we see that it seems like G2 are already giving him his spots on the map. I was wondering where they were going to put him, if they're going to be like, okay, actually, we want you to play more, less to your strengths, more to the team. And it doesn't seem like that's the case. He's playing A on Mirage CT, for example, and that's his domain, right? That's where he got to shine on Dignitas. And so it's good to see that G2 aren't trying to hobble him. They're saying, okay, we know you're good, now go and show it to us, right?
Yeah, and I mean, closing points from you then, Moses, before we talk about it.
Mike Lilly talked on stage about how, and we mentioned it at the major, they started out slow, they usually come out slow. With the new roster change, both maps they started on the CT side, and that's where the roster changes are going to hit you the most because, you know, you're not always dictating the pace of the action. You know, you have to have that good communication on your rotate. You're getting used to new teammates and how they like to play and how they like to call for things. So on the T side, you know, they can put them. They can say, you know, either you just put you alone and let you do your own thing, or they can just put you in a group and just say, we're just going to trade frag and enter this bomb site. So it's a lot easier to manage a new player on the T side than it is CT.
I've never really thought about it like that. I like that. All right, look at this guy. You know, he's got a job for a reason, it turns out. Good stuff from Jason. Maniac, then, final thoughts before we talk about Cloud9 TSM. Where does this put G2? From what we've seen in the first 2 maps, you know, against either opponent, Cloud9 TSM, you think they're in good stead to kind of climb the ladder of IEM?
Well, I think what we can say from now on is that they need to be able to play good at the beginning of the series. I mean, maybe against CLG they can afford to have a slow start and like crumble a bit on the first map. But if they're gonna go against even Cloud9 or TSM, they have to go straight 200%. They won't have the kind of joker that they could have in this series. So if they want to look forward to a final or a title even, they really have to get going directly at the beginning of the game.
All right, well, let's talk about that just for a brief moment then. Cloud9 TSM, touching thoughts before we do have a whole segment to discuss it. But before we do head to a break, starting with you, Moses. I was eyeing up someone. I was like, actually, no, he looks like he's going to say something mean. It looks like he's about to fire a shot, so I want to kind of put some Kevlar up and start.
Let him take it.
Okay, okay, let's see what you got.
Cloud9 TSM?
Yep.
I mean, I already mentioned earlier in the broadcast, I'm going full America.
You said 3 maps.
Full America.
Full America.
2-1 C9.
Honestly, I think we wouldn't be able to get out of the venue with the amount of Cloud9 shirts if we do say anything else. There is, honestly,
we could find some pathway out of here, but it doesn't even matter because I'm going Cloud9 for this next matchup.
Okay, and how about you then? From the European side of things, I'm leaving Semler till last because he's kind of brooding some sort of horrible firework of a discussion, but after you.
I still think TSM is going to take it. They're probably going to take the title. But I think Cloud9 will be able to take 1 map. I think it's going to be 2-1 for TSM.
Okay, so both people thinking 3 maps. Just Semler in the same boat. Are we at least going to see a 3-mapper?
Bring it. What you got? What you been thinking after that?
Because I'm looking at, I'm looking at, on paper, TSM should be the team that there should be no threat to them.
So is the major.
On paper. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. And they're coming in here, and they're looking a little, you know, I got to talk with them for 5 minutes, right? And they're looking a little tense. They're not, you know, their usual joking, haha self, you know, where Dupree's making vacuum noises and, you know, Kerrigan's going, you know, shadow box and like, this is what I'm going to do. Sean Garrett's, right? Deliver.
Yeah.
No, that's not what was happening. They seemed pretty calm, pretty little tense. So I'm wondering, because it's, again, just like in the major, we were saying TSM are the team to beat. They're going to win this thing. This is it. Their chance, their time to shine. And now we go into this tournament where there's no envy. Snacks is not here for VP. The two biggest Na'Vi have got like infighting going on or something. They're not hitting their peak performance. Everything points to a TSM win. So I might actually go ahead and say that this revitalized, or at least, you know, harder hitting Cloud9 with nothing making some shots, taking some weight off of Sean Garrett's shoulders. I might venture, you know, I might go back to the roots, you know, and say Cloud9 are going to take this 2-1.
All right, well, we are going to be talking about that further. We're going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be digging deeper into your Cloud9 call and also talking about the kind of problem with TSM, this innate problem where when the going gets tough do get going, and they're going to have to try and redeem themselves here in San Jose. We're going to head to a quick break, guys. Stay with us, and we'll be back with your second game here at the Intel Extreme Masters.
Do the dishes.